Hello again, my dudes, welcome back to the channel. This is Kadima bringing you another build video. I wasn't planning to do this anymore, but with a new patch and the changes made to certain weapons, new builds became available, and this is one of these cases. This is going to be quite the shift in the meta for PvP, and Milady is now actually quite strong. It was good before, I'm not saying otherwise, but now it's on a whole new level. This is mainly because now, with the change of the patch, light grade swords now stagger and do a lot of poise damage. Even the simple R1s and R2s will stagger and stun your opponents. Sometimes you will even lock them into a combo, as you are about to see in many examples in this build video. Let's talk about the build itself. Keen Milady, this thing scales B with dexterity, E with strength. Attributes required 12 strength, 17 dexterity. I've made a previous build video using Milady, but this time we're gonna go with a sword dance. And the sword dance is going to be comboing. It's not a true combo, let's make that very clear, but it is a combo that works plenty of times, and you will see many examples of this following in the PvP examples. And this is going to be basically how we are going to play. We are going to jump attack with the R2 and then go for the sword dance. And that, my friends, does a ton of damage, as you are about to see. We got a buckler just in case we have to parry someone. We got armor, and that we are going to be using to help our jump attacks. The Gravebird's Black Quill, which enhances jumping attacks, and the Talisman Claw Talisman, which also enhances jumping attacks. The rest of the set is from the Verdigris set, which is just to give us a little bit of tankiness and a little bit of damage negation. Shard of Alexander is a must-have, so we can get the sword dance to do a bit more damage. Two-handed sword talisman, we are going to two-hand the Milady the whole time. And again, for a little bit of extra damage mitigation, Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. Our buffs are going to be the Exalted Flesh and the Dragon Bolt Grease. You could debate using other talismans, such as the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia or the Millicent's Prosthesis. I found that most times the opponents dodge and back off straight away, and the benefits never really proc. But basically, as I said, the idea with this build is jump attack and then just go with the sword dance, and this does quite a bit of damage. Now, the attack rate, as you might see, it's just 582, it's nothing extraordinary, but when you go with the Exalted Flesh and the Dragon Bolt Grease, it goes to 819, and that's nothing shabby. It does a tremendous amount of damage. If you make the best of the initial buffs during combats in the arena, you'll be doing extreme amount of damage. Again, jumping R2, and then a simple sword dance. You can also try jumping R2 to R2 and then go with the sword dance. It also works sometimes, and it's actually beneficial if your opponents roll away, because they will then get caught with the sword dance. But this is pretty much the build in a nutshell. I have not used any of this for PvE. Again, the changes are mainly due and mostly important for the Milady, come for the PvP. There's another build coming very soon that is actually focused on PvE, so stay tuned for that, guys. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, it does help us grow. Leave a like, comment, and share it with your friends. Activate the notifications if you feel so inclined. Thank you all for watching. Let's talk about the stats. And I am level 151, Vigor 55, Mind at 21, just so we have enough mind to use the sword dance plenty of times. You could actually debate and put some of that mind into endurance if you want. I didn't feel the need to do that, or maybe put an extra set of points into strength just to get a little bit of extra damage with the Milady. Strength at 14, dexterity at 80. You can also maybe put some more points in vigor if you think you're not surviving enough. I felt comfortable using it like that, and I recommend you adapting it to your preferences. The most important thing is the dexterity at 80, and everything after that, it's up to you. But enough talk, let's watch those people. First example is going to be a very quick one. We're fighting a mage. Mage doesn't really have a lot of damage mitigation. Of course, he's going to cast his spells, and our first task is just to avoid them. And then once we attack, R2 and then sword dance immediately killed. GG. Next one, it's going to be a fairly quick one as well. It is a mage, although it's a bit more meaty compared to the previous one. But here we go. Got a buff with the Exalted Flesh and the lightning damage on the Milady. Charged R2, followed by Sword Dance. Unfortunately, it didn't connect. But we're still there. Jumping R2. And then we finish off with another jumping R2 for the win. Now for this one, we're gonna go with the Exalted Flesh and the Dragon Bolt Grease. Boost our damage. We also get those FD Rot pots as usual, just in case. I always like to use them. Didn't get him with Rot. Jumping R2. Another R2 followed by Sword Dance. Didn't connect. But then jumping R2 and then the Sword Dance connects for 1400 damage, nearly 1500 damage. GG. This one is actually a funny one because this guy's got a great shield. He's got to play very defensively, but we still managed to get the job done, as you can see, despite we being quite... we got no poise, but you see that jumping attack, 500 damage, and only one of the hits actually connected. He's playing extremely passive. He's just there waiting. It doesn't really do anything. Charged R2 didn't connect. Unfortunately, I tried a second one. I thought maybe he will run attack me, but he didn't. He was just, as I said, he was just extremely passive. But again, we are staying offensive. Get those jumping attacks to connect. Trying to outspace him and bait him a little bit. Then we get that R2 and then we connect with the Sword Dance and the final hit gets the kill. Now this is going to be a fairly quick one against the Claws of Night. There's a tornado coming, of course. This has been actually changed with the patch as well, which is a good thing. Of course he's gonna be coming full house with the Scattered Shot. We're gonna go jumping attack, and actually we took a tremendous amount of damage, but then we do the R2 for the Sword Dance and we win. This one is going to be probably the fastest round I had with this build. As you can see, fully buffed. This guy comes with the bleed intentions, but then I just jump R2 and then Sword Dance connects immediately. 1800 damage. GG. Next one, we got someone using, of course, the backhand blades. We're gonna see a lot of that as well still, even though the blind spot has been nerfed slightly. The invincibility frames have been reduced, but the poise damage has been increased. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation with these backhands. And then Swift Slash, of course, what else? But we do manage to do a lot more damage than that what we sustained. We're still trying to outmaneuver our opponent, but then he makes the mistake of coming too close with the Swift Slash, and I finish him off with the jumping R2, followed by the Sword Dance. Next one, it's going to be a meaty guy. It's going to be a long fight, because we got to be careful with this. He's got the combo going with the whip and the great katana, so we got to outsmart this guy. Running R2, we got both hits to connect. Then he comes with a tooth whip, which actually pairs quite well with a great katana. I do manage to dodge, so that's a good thing. We get a little bit of damage with the Sword Dance. Stay safe, we don't get hit. Roll, try a charged R2, we manage to connect, and then the Sword Dance finishes the job. GG. As you can see, this combination of the jumping R2s and the Sword Dance is actually quite strong, and it does a tremendous amount of damage. Does a lot of poise damage as well nowadays with the new patch, and I can't recommend you guys trying this build enough. It's very fun to use. As you can see, this guy is about to feel my full wrath. He's at full health, as you can see, but look at the damage. Jumping R2 and then Sword Dance finishes him off completely for 2000 damage. When everything connects, it's just a lot of damage to go for. 2000 damage, Jesus. Here we go again. Next fight. We're fighting another kind of mage, a gravity mage, more focused. Made a funny build with that stuff as well. Actually, two of them, but one of them was actually focused on that. But here we go. He's doing his gimmicks. It's fine. We will patiently wait for our opportunity. I'm going to throw just a pot to get him interested in fighting. He finally comes with a sword, charged R2, and then sword dance. Doesn't connect. We do get hit. But then we finish the job with a jumping R2 for the sword dance, and we get the win. Next one, I actually fought this guy plenty of times before. He's buffing himself. I always allow the opponent to do that. I buffed 2. He's coming with the Sword of Solitude. Lucky for us, now we do a lot of poise damage as well, so we can actually interrupt this guy. He's not going to hyper armor that easily. Charged R2, we managed to connect, but we got interrupted. Another running R2, doesn't connect. Jumping R2, doesn't connect. Then again, he comes with the Ash of War. We managed to avoid it. I could have tried the backstep there, but I didn't want to take risks. Jumping R2, as you see, it did interrupt him, and then the sword dance finishes him off. GG. Another one. Here we go. Get that Exalted Flesh. Get that weapon on with the lightning. We are actually fighting someone else using a Milady, so this is actually a good example of who's got the strongest build. As you can see, he did quite a bit of damage, probably about 1200 considering how much HP I lost and how much HP I have, but I did 1600. So I think my build is more optimized for the idea of the Milady of the jumping R2s with the follow-up with the sword dance. He completely changed his mind. He no longer feels like interacting. I think he's just changing his equipment, as you can confirm now. But then I finish him off with a sword dance. GG. Now here we go again. Another fight. This is going to be a bit of a long one. Gotta dodge that nonsense from the Spear of the Impaler. He does go all the way through with it. We jump R2 and then we get another R2. Sword dance. Unfortunately it didn't connect. If it did, it probably would have been the end of him. I don't get how I got hit there. I was extremely far, but not a problem. Latency is what it is. We're just trying to outmaneuver him because I know he's gonna come for some damage, and I just finish him with a running R2. Now this is going to be a quick one as we are approaching the end of the video. This guy immediately attacked me. I'm fine, but then I'm going to troll you. I'm sorry. Running R2. We did a bit of damage, but we also did receive quite a substantial amount of damage. But not a problem. R2 and then sword dance for the win. GG. Sorry. Here we go. This is going to be the last one. This guy, I fought him many times before, but he actually managed to put up quite the fight. But still, as you can see, he's very tanky. He's got the Armor of Solitude, the Sword of Solitude, and he's not going to be able to hyper armor through any of my hits because of the change with the light great swords. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and you give this build a try, especially if you like PvP. If you haven't subscribed just yet, please consider doing so. I do appreciate your support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Thank you for watching. Cheerio!